Hi, everybody. Carl the Prado, A to Z Business IT. Thank you for joining me today. So, real quick, I asked the question, which country has a lesser GDP than what cyber criminals have been able to steal? So when we think about a country, when we say GDP, we're talking about everything a country makes. So, last year, just to put some numbers here, cyber criminals took $9.5 trillion. That's what they stole from hardworking people, companies. Um, didn't matter where they were from. They were able to rake in $9.5 trillion of reported losses worldwide from criminal stealing. Um, what's $1 trillion? It's a lot of money. Just to put it in perspective, you know, if you and everybody proceeded to take us, like, say, all right, I'm going to count the first billion, and Charlie, you're going to count the second billion. We did it in concessions. Even if you took all the people you knew and started to do that, you couldn't do it in your whole lifetime. Just to put it in perspective of how big $1 trillion is. It's just such a large number. But this is where we are. So what does that mean? When we talk about that, $9.5 trillion. Well, worldwide, the economy was was $105 trillion. Worldwide is what the economy is. So that's 9.5%. I'm sorry, 9%. That's 9%. So 9%. Okay. Well, what is that? Well, sales tax in most states is less than 9%. So, that's how much it is. So think about, like, every time you buy something for $1 and it's almost $1, $1.09, it would be $1.18. It adds up. And you're saying, well, wait, what's $1.18? They didn't steal it from me. Well, in a way, we're all victims in this, because when they're able to take 9% of the world GDP, this cost doesn't disappear. It is carried forward in the expense of everything that we buy. So this is, that's there. So who are these people? Well, some of them are nation states. They're countries like Iran and Russia, where they'll have trained attackers that are going in there. Another group of private organizations, such as cyber criminals. And these places run like businesses. They have recruitment. They have negotiators. They have specific jobs. They have an HR department. As a matter of fact, you're one of these underprivileged countries. This could be the best job opportunity that you could have compared to what everything else that you could be doing. And so, and you say, well, that's kind of blasé, but no, for them it really is. Unfortunately, they're looking to support their families. We are far away. They don't know us individually or personally. And also, it's like, well, they have so much. Why shouldn't they take? Why shouldn't they give it to us, whether they want to or not? So, that's kind of the cyber criminal mindset. Criminals, by the way, most criminals never feel like they're stealing. They're just taking something, and that's the difference. You'll never hear them say, "I stole something." They'll say, "I took it," because they don't feel like they're robbing from you. You have hacktivists. So hacktivists are groups of people or lone individuals that they're not motivated by the money. What they're looking for is either the thrills of hacking into something. They may be looking for the notoriety. They may have an agenda that's quite different from yours. You may be part of a bar association. New York State Bar Association was hacked by hacktivists. They weren't looking for a ransom. They weren't looking for a ransom. What they were looking to do was create mayhem, and they posted everybody's PII information, which would be driver's licenses and passports, on the dark web. And they've been up there since 2019. There have been several governments around the world have been trying to take that information down, and they have not. Just to put in perspective, but that's through hacktivism. Then you got insider threats. Well, insider threats, by the way, they're pretty common. It's about 1 in 4. That's an insider threat, and you're like, well, why is that coming? Well, you've got a lot of people that don't feel loyal to companies. I mean, you've got companies now that fire hundreds of people at a shot through text message or tweet or email. It's very unpersonal. And even when it's not, again, they're looking at it like, why should you have that when I don't have it? So it's, again, they don't feel like they're stealing. They're just taking something. So again, I asked that question about which country had a lower GDP than cyber criminals, and it was a trick question. Sorry about that. I throw those out every once in a while. The United States is almost $29 trillion. So, putting in a perspective, the United States gross worldwide, GDP, gross domestic product. That's everything that we make or everything that we sell and trade. That's That's just a little under $29 trillion. So cyber criminals did 9.5. So that's about 1/3 of the U.S. total GDP as far as what they were able to do. China is number two. They're doing about half of what China's total gross domestic product is. Germany comes in third, and Germany is only half of what the cyber criminals are doing. And everybody else is going well below it. These are the top 10 GDPs throughout the world. So it just puts into perspective how big and massive a trillion is, and how few countries even get up to having multi-trillions of dollars. Canada only has only did like 2.25 trillion, to put it in perspective. So who is the target that they're looking for? Well, simply the target is the unprepared, those that are putting their head in the sand. Probably people who are unlike you, who are not clicking on this video. And so then the question is, what do they want? Well, it's very simply, they want your money. They want your money. They want my money. They want everyone's money. They don't care. Again, they're not stealing, they're taking. And so how do they do this? Well, what they're doing is they're using, techniques. Before, we used to always say it was a term that we throw around, which is BEC, business email compromise, through phishing attacks. But they've broadened their reach a little bit with the same idea. They're looking for credentials, because once they can harvest those credentials, they don't need to break into your computer systems if they get the passwords. Everybody feels like their data is safe in the cloud, but if they have your credentials and access to your cloud accounts, they don't. That's an easy in for them. And about 80% of all cyber attacks actually happen in the cloud. They don't happen on on-premise equipment. So, again, they'll look for valid attacks. They'll look for external remote services. A cyber group or an individual takes them on average, about 39 minutes of research to find on a company, their credentials. And once they've done that, it takes them less than 2 minutes for them to go ahead and breach that company and to start their attacks. So in less time than what it would take you to get a cup of coffee, that's how quickly they can be inside of your systems. So what do businesses do? Again, well, there's really only one thing to do. One is to wake up to the new reality. Understand that this is what's going on, that this is the world we live in. And with that, start to look at making changes. One of the things that we reach out to you for, if you're not sure of how to protect your passwords, or how to protect your credentials, of what's in your system, give us a call. I'm going to put these QR codes bringing you to our booking page, which is booking.a to z business IT. And we'll be glad to give you a free consultation. You can book a time and we can go over where you guys are, where your company is, what your posture is, how you're managing third-party threats, the things that can keep you up at night. And so, because let's face it, it's a changing world, and the only way to really end up in the winner's circle is to secure it and scale and succeed. So again, my name is Carl DePrado, A to Z. I'm the founder of A to Z Business IT, and I encourage you to go ahead and book some time with us. And I thank you for your time today. You guys have a great day. Take care.